It's time to go on holiday. Let's take some fragrances. Good morning. I really wish it was time to go on holiday, but my parents are going away for a month, and in a couple of months' time, I will be going on holiday too. And it kind of gave me inspiration for today's video. I want to start with part one. This is going to be two-part sort of series of picking my fragrances to take on vacation for me. Now, the holiday I'm going on is down to the West Country in the UK. If you don't know that, that is sort of Cornwall if you live in England, and it's literally so many childhood memories. We went there all the time with family, essentially, when we were at school. That was the summer holiday trip, essentially, down to Cornwall. And yeah, we are going back this year in a few months' time, and I need to take some fragrances. So what I've done today is going to kind of be as I said, the part one of it. This is going to be the casual fragrance, the fragrance that you're going to kind of wear in the day, not when you're dressing up for going for a meal, but essentially for this 2 week holiday, I'm going to have the one that I'm going to kind of wear most days, most occasions, a little bit more, let's say, a dumb reach. So what I've done is I've picked 4 fragrances from my collection, and by the end of this video today, by the end of my sort of workout today, based on the categories we look at, I'm going to have one of the fragrances that I'm going to take with me. So we'll look at different factors of why I'm going to take them, but I'm going to try and quickly explain, just go through the 4 that I've picked. It's going to be a bit of a round by round system, so the winner of the round will get a point, and then we'll see which one wins the most rounds. So yeah, what I'm going to do, show you the 4 fragrances and why I've picked them. So I'm going to put all 4 fragrances on as well today, but the first one, I've got to use this brand, and it's a little bit of nostalgia essentially for me, because I love Lush body spray. If you've seen my videos, I do so many reviews on them, and the first one here is Lush Zesty. Now this one is perfect for the summertime. It's going to be a summer holiday type trip, and the main note in this is limes. It's kind of got this fizzy fruitiness about it, which I really like mixing with Neroli. It's so calming, so relaxing. And it kind of smells like a mocktail. If anyone knows like mocktails, fake cocktails, essentially non-alcoholic cocktails, that's what it's really like. I can imagine sitting on the beach with a lime squash, something like that, wearing this one. Brilliant for a sea breeze day. Leaves a big mark as well, and it's definitely got some performance on it. So the real selling point of that is that kind of rindy citrus, which I think is perfect for summer. Let's be honest, most fragrances do tend to be quite citrusy in the summer. Then we've got a clone fragrance, so that's kind of a middle of the range price, sort of £20–30. This one here, Noted Aromas Jakarta. Now this is actually a clone of Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. The reason I'm sort of picking this one is the last time I went down to the West Country, I actually had the original Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. So I've already kind of got that scent memory of that holiday there, and maybe just recreating that smell takes me back there. Obviously I'll actually be there, but also the smell just strengthens that feeling of, oh, it's so good to be back. So that's kind of why I picked this one. You can kind of get this one for £30, so again, similar price range to that. If you don't know this fragrance, though, Grey Vetiver or Noted Aromas Jakarta, it's a very clean vetiver, very soapy clean. I think there's a little bit of oak moss in there, but there is this kind of inkiness, woodiness about it, a bit more grown up, a bit more sophisticated. Certainly could dress that one up a little bit more. Then we've got a very old school, so I like to do some different ranges here. We've got a GP, but it is a retro fragrance, and this is Brut Original. I think it's called Original Prestige. Doesn't say it on this, but when you look on Fragrantica, that's what it seems to be called. This is very much like your granddad's soap. I know that sounds awful, but it's very calming, very relaxing. It's quite musky. I get a lot of musk from this. There's musk and lavender in this one. I think there's a bit of anise as well. That's what you get with this though. Just a very easy out the shower, soapy smell. And again, I think that's perfect for the summertime. When it's hot, sometimes you don't want anything too strong, too overpowering. And this one certainly isn't. It's very weak. Probably only lasts a couple of hours. But maybe if you're on holiday and you're just doing things, you're on the move all day, that would be absolutely great. And then the final one here is Zara Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. Now, I've got the original Bogos Vibrant Leather. It's a very strong pineapple. This is a pineapple heavy scent again. Very fruity, very, very synthetic. Yeah, it's a juicy pineapple, but with this one being a summer flanker, it's a little bit more aquatic. And I think aquatic, again, being near the sea, that's where we go for Cornwall, by the beaches. I think this one's absolutely perfect, but it's really about that pineapple, that sweet pineapple, rather than that strong zesty citrus which you get from Zesty by Lush. So yeah, they are our 4 fragrances. Essentially what I'm going to do while doing my workout today, I'm going to talk about maybe a category. So which one do I think is the best suited to being on the beach, or remind you the most of being on the beach. After those sort of 10 rounds, I think we'll do about 10 today, we should hopefully have an overall winner. So yeah, can't wait to do this one. Got no idea which one's going to win today. It's just going to be literally whatever category comes in my head, and then we'll see which one is coming with me on holiday in a couple of months' time. Weather's looking good today, already feels like summer. I'll see you out there. Off, and it is another gorgeous Sunday morning. It's absolutely lovely, and it's really making me just desperate to go on holiday in a couple of months' time. I'm sure it will come around quickly, but one of the main reasons I absolutely love going to Cornwall is being by the sea. Now, of course, I live near the sea, I'm very lucky, but when you go somewhere else, it's that change of scenery I really like. And yeah, just it may be the same, it's a beach, but it's a different beach, and that's what's so good about it. And I think that's probably where I'm going to start with this first category. Which one do I think gives me the best seaside vibe? Now, obviously I've picked all of these for the reason that I think they're all brilliant fragrances for going on holiday in their own right. So I'm not going to sort of look at too many negatives with this one. I'm just going to go very quickly into it because I'm going to do 10 rounds today. The winner of this round I'm going to give to Lush Zesty. I touched upon it earlier. It's so uplifting. It's really, really uplifting. And when I think of beachy holidays in the UK, they're a little bit different to if you go to the Caribbean, for example. You know, I can imagine in the Caribbean sort of sitting there with a giant coconut with a straw and just being a bit more tropical. And I think in that case, I probably would have gone Zara Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer, just because it's that pineapple tropical smell. But in the UK, it's one of those things, you tend to sit on the beach, normally with a coat on, telling yourself, oh, it's okay, it's fine. A little bit overcast, a bit breezy. But I kind of picture yourself sitting there, maybe going bodyboarding, or just having an ice cream as well. And I think the most calming of the four is definitely Zesty for that. You've got that nice and roady, which I always think is a lovely summer fragrance. Lime, again, I can just imagine sitting there with like a nice lime cocktail alongside an ice cream. It'd be absolutely lovely. And the reason I haven't picked the other two, Brut Original, again, it's a bit more old school, and they tend to be quite loud old school fragrances, but this one is quite tame. And I think if I was going along the beach like I am this morning, that one's going to disappear quite quickly. I'm not maybe going to notice it as well as the others. And then on the flip side, Jacquard or the Grey Vetiver Clone by Noted Aromas, that one's quite inky, quite dark, a bit more formal and serious. And again, if you're on like a beach holiday or anything like that, that's the last thing you want. You want it to be calming, relaxing. That one's a bit more sophisticated and grown up, and that's not what you're really looking for if you're on a beachy holiday. So the one that I think is just the most uplifting, the most wearable, and also has good performance where you're going to notice it with that sea breeze, I've got to go Zesty by Lush. That takes the first point. Okay, so we're going to go into the second round now. We're going to say which one is the best scent memory fragrance. And for those of you that are into your fragrances, you'll know what I mean here with scent memories. I'm sure you've got some sprays in your collection that the second you spray it or you smell someone else wearing it, it takes you back to a moment in time. And I kind of want it this year because it's probably the last time we'll do a big family holiday together, because we're all getting older, into our 30s and stuff. It's probably the last time we're going to potentially go there as a family of four. So for that reason, I want something that's going to make me always think of those amazing holidays that I had growing up as a child and beyond. So I'm going to rule out, to start with, I'm going to rule out the Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. And the reason for that is purely, it is very, very strong. It's very synthetic pineapple. And I think for 2 weeks, because it's a 2-week holiday, I'm going to be sick of it after a while. And I don't think I want it again. And the other thing with Zara, they discontinue a lot of their fragrances very quickly, and I think in a few years' time this one will be gone and I won't be able to get it again. And of course, if I really wanted it as a scent memory, I'm disappointed if I can't buy it anymore. Brut Original Cologne, this is probably just a little bit biased. It doesn't necessarily suit my personality. It's a little bit older, a bit more grown up, a bit more soapy, and again that watered down smell of it, because it is quite cheap, I just don't think it's going to give that enough strength for me to really remember it by, even though it will still be around, unlike some of the others. Lush Zesty, again, very simplistic, love it. It's so uplifting as it just won the first round. But I think the issue with this one is there are plenty of nice fizzy lime fragrances out there, and I do feel like I don't have to get this one to replicate that smell. But I think the one that's the most unique is the Grey Vetiver Clone. Of course, I'm a bit biased because I've already worn this one on that holiday before, but it has got more depth and complexity about it, which is going to make it stand out. I don't see Tom Ford Grey Vetiver obviously being discontinued or anything either, so I think I can get that one or the clone. And it's just one that, again, is a lovely soapy vetiver. I think it's one of the safest vetiver fragrances, but there's a nice woody undertone that just makes it stand out above the rest. And I think I would always think of that one then as being a holiday fragrance, because it is the most unique of the four. So the strongest scent memory fragrance is Jakarta by Noted Aromas, the Tom Ford Grey Vetiver clone. If you don't live in the UK and you're watching this video now, don't be fooled by thinking this blue sky above me is very common in England. They always say the British moan about the weather a lot, and generally it is normally for good reason, and I'm fully expecting during my 2 weeks away to encounter a few rainy days. And with that in mind, which fragrance of the four do I think would be best suited for a rainy day? Well, I'm going to rule out two straight away just because they are so much more linked to that hotter summer days, and that is Zesty by Lush, which again is just so uplifting. It's almost too positive for a rainy day, if that makes sense. And obviously Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. When it's rain at home, I never think I'm going to put on something really fruity and tropical smelling. It's just not one I'd necessarily reach for. Not that either are particularly wrong. You know, you'd still wear them if you had to. You know, I think any sort of summer scent is okay on most occasions because they're not as heavy. But then that leaves the two. The Noted Aromas, Jakarta, the Grey Vetiver clone, or Brut Original. And I'm going to give this one to Brut Original for one reason. I can imagine if it is a rainy day, I'm probably going to stay in the hotel, stay in the flat, maybe go out for a cake or a coffee, but essentially just watch a film maybe with family. And with that in mind, I'm not really trying to impress you. I'm not trying to make it too heavy because I'm going to be indoors, maybe under a blanket. I don't really want to be, wearing something that's going to choke me out or anyone around me. And I just think it gives you that vibe, that Brut Original clone, of fresh out the shower. And I can just picture that now, coming out the shower, coming out the bath, putting that on, watching the film. It's not heavy, it's only going to last a couple of hours. And that's all I really wanted to do on a rainy day when I'm not really seeing anyone, not going out, not getting too hot and bothered. It's perfect, it's cheap, it just screams done reach. And I think on holiday, that's great for a rainy day. Simplicity done right, clean, musky, perfect for me. So that wins the round for what's the best on a rainy day. To the fourth round, the last one I'm going to do on my morning run today before we get back. I think it's only fitting that we say what's going to be the best workout fragrance. Yes, when I go on holiday, you're probably not surprised if you've seen my videos before. I'm planning to take my running shoes, planning to go for runs, walks, go in the sea for a bit of a swim, and essentially keep myself nice and active because that's what I love doing. So which one of the four do I think will be the best workout fragrance? There's a lot of hills there, there's a lot of steep inclines. Which one do I think would be the best to get me through some of those tough, challenging workouts, especially after I've been eating and drinking far too much on my holiday? I'm going to go straight into it here. I think that's a pretty obvious one again for me. And this is kind of just from my experiences of being out running now. Of the four that I've put on, the one that I'm enjoying the most at the minute is undoubtedly Zesty. But again, it's very simple, Lush. And if you've seen these before, I've mentioned this so many times. I think they should have a motto, simplicity done well. They use very natural oils, they use natural neroli, they use natural bergamot on their fragrances. I'm sure this is a natural line, there's not many synthetics in their fragrances. And they only use 3 or 4 notes. And I think that's what you want with a fragrance. If you have an old school fragrance, I've worn retro fragrances to do reviews before, there's so many notes in them. There's so much complexity. And sometimes on a run, you don't really want that. You just want something fresh, clean, uplifting that makes you feel positive, especially when your legs are aching. Brut's not going to be strong enough, even though I think in terms of its scent profile, that musky lavender, a bit of anise, is very nice. I don't think it's wrong, but I think I'm going to need a bit more kick from that one for me to have chosen it. The Grey Vetiver Jakarta clone, again, a bit more serious. It's got really, really good performance though with that one, where I do think actually for a workout it could get me through. But again, I don't know if it's happy enough and relaxing enough for me to really enjoy it on my run, because I want a workout to be relaxing and enjoyable. And then that kind of left me with Zesty and Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. And again, it's so synthetic, that Vibrant Leather Summer. And to be honest with you, although it's very nice, it does just drop off after an hour. And if I'm doing an hour and a half, 2 hour run or a 2 hour hike, it's not going to last that whole time either. So for that reason, it just had to just be, by process of elimination, that nice limey smell from Zesty. It's really nice and I'm enjoying it a lot on my run now. Oh, we are back. So it's time to do the next round. And I think, even though it's not as important on a holiday, I still like compliments. I remember when my brother took Colonia Club to Cornwall, and we were walking down the road. We were going to get some fudge, I think, or a pasty at the time. And these two people said, "Oh, that young man," because he was in front of me actually. I was talking to my mum, he was talking to my dad just in front. Smelled really nice. And obviously he heard it, and I kind of got a whiff of what he'd said. Tom for the fragrance as well, because we were going downhill at the same time. Super strong fragrance. We still remember talking about that now. So I do think compliment factor is nice if you're there. Someone say a nice thing about your fragrance, or even if you know they haven't said it to you directly, indirectly mentioned it to someone else. Which one do I think is the best? Well, I'm going to kind of use my run here as a bit of a guide. The one I noticed the most, on top of the fact I think it's the most complex of the four, is the Jakarta Noted Aromas, the Tom Ford Grey Vetiver clone. I think this one has got that statement quality. And that's something that I think, again, if you just wanted to take one fragrance, I'm also going to take two, you could dress this one up as well, a lot more than the others at the same time. But the performance on this vetiver is a very interesting note. You can get this soapy vetiver, which this one is, and obviously that more dry, grassy vetiver, which has a bit of a smokiness. This one's a lot more clean, but it's still very strong. And I just think that strength, which I know somewhere alongside that higher sophistication, this is cloning a very, very expensive, or pretty expensive, over £100 fragrance. It's really good, and this is an amazing clone. So I think this was an easy round for me. For compliment facts, when you're on holiday, for some stranger to say a nice thing about you, I'm going to go Noted Aromas Jakarta. Okay, so the next category is a slightly different round here, but of course it's how the fragrance travels. How many times have you been away and you've bought loads of things, and then actually you can't fit everything in your bag because you've bought stuff on top of the stuff you already brought with you? So I need something that's going to travel well, not leak, and not take up too much room. And I think that's a pretty easy winner here. First one I've got to rule out, it's unfortunately the one that just won the last round, Noted Aromas Jakarta. That sort of cylindrical shaped bottle, not very good. It doesn't sort of slip into a side of a pocket or anything. It's bulky, it takes up too much room. It's not a massive bottle, but that one lets it down. This one, unfortunately, look, again, it's got a nice flat front, but it's very tall, so it's very hard to fit in wash bags and things. But also the other problem, I've had no issues with them leaking, but they're very easy to unscrew. And yeah, so if you haven't got it screwed on properly, that could leak. So unfortunately, Zesty misses out for that reason. This one here, again, the bottle shape is better. It's more square, Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. It's got a cap, which I really like, but it's still quite bulky in comparison to this one here, the Brut one. And again, very easy to hold in your hand. It can slip into a side of a pocket because it's much, much thinner. It's fine. You know, it's no worries at all with this one. And to be honest with you, if I had to leave one there or overspray one so I can get rid of it before I get back, this one's the easiest to do that because it's the cheapest and it's the weakest in terms of performance. It's not going to, you know, choke yourself out essentially, even if you overspray. So pretty easy winner for me. The one that I think will travel the best is Brut. So yeah, we're going to do a couple more now as we go on our walk, and yeah, it's getting very close. I don't have a clue what the scores are, mind you, at the minute, but I feel like everyone's won something at the moment. So yeah, doing well. You can tell by the fact I've got a buttermint in my mouth right now. I absolutely love treats. I love food. Can't get enough of sweet treats in particular. And I'm going to give this round, I'm going to call it the Pasty Perfume round. Now, the reason I'm calling it that is Cornwall, or Cornish pasties, are very well known. And I'm really looking forward to having one when we go away. But when I think of these holidays, when I think of summer holidays, I think of fish and chips, I think of fudge, ice cream, all those things. And which fragrance of the four do I think complements those kind of holidays where you kind of just treat yourself? You're not going for fancy food, you're going for that nice food, those guilty pleasures essentially that I cannot wait to eat. And now this is tough because, to be honest, I'd like a gourmand fragrance for these sort of occasions, those caramel pastry type smelling fragrances, a bit of vanilla. But of course these are kind of more summer fragrances, so they're less gourmand. So it's quite tough to pick a winner for this one, but I'm going to give this round to Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer. And the reason that is that juicy pineapple. It's the one that I think is the closest to being a gourmand essentially. It's kind of reminiscent of a nice sorbet. I can imagine it complementing a sorbet well, complementing an ice cream well, even like a lemon fudge or something like that. I think this one just feels like the most gourmand of the four. Some of the others are a little bit too serious. And yeah, I can just picture this one with a nice dessert. And I will be eating plenty of dessert. So Vibrant Leather, you win this round. So on to round number 8, away from the traffic now. That's a lot better. I can hear my own thoughts. And we're going to be talking about gifts now. So something I like to do, I like to buy a gift for my nan when I'm away. And sometimes, obviously, you treat yourself. You buy yourself a t-shirt or something. Now, if these 4 fragrances were all lined up in a shop in front of me, which one would I most likely buy as a gift, whether that's for myself or for someone else? I think there's 2 I instantly rule out. Retro fragrances, I think, are very divisive. And I don't know how much I love them at times, and it's a bit of a Marmite thing for me, so I'm going to rule out Brut just because it's a little bit more like your granddad's soap. Now for my nan and grandpa, maybe that would be alright, but I'm not going to go for that one. It's quite masculine, that fragrance as well, certainly not got enough versatility for my liking as a gift. Then I'm going to obviously rule out Grey Vetiver again, a little bit more serious. Vetiver can be a divisive note, and it is quite woody, that one as well, and it does have this inky vibe. I just think, yeah, it doesn't quite remind me of buying it as a holiday gift. So that one's going to be ruled out, and then it kind of leaves the other ones. Vibrant Leather Summer or Zesty. For myself, I'd definitely go Zesty, and I think for other people I would as well. And I say this for, again, a little bit like I said earlier, it does have that feeling of slightly higher quality, and it is a little bit more expensive. It's about £7 or £8 more expensive, I believe, for Zesty compared to Bogos Vibrant Leather Summer by Zara. But I think it's worth that extra investment. I really do. I think it's just got that extra quality that you can tell from the oils, and it's straight down the middle unisex as well. I think Vibrant Leather Summer you could certainly wear as a woman, but I do think it does have a slight masculine edge. I don't know if there's a bit of pepper in there, a bit of black pepper that complements the pineapple. Maybe again trying to copy a bit of that Aventus vibe, a slight smokiness, but it's definitely heavier on the fruits where a woman could wear it. But I do think it's more for a man, and it is very synthetic, so I think an older person wouldn't appreciate it as much. And personally, I just don't think it's as good as fragrance. Again, it's not as natural. I think Zesty just feels like it's nicer, and I think it's worth that extra investment as well. And again, I feel like Lush will keep this one for a long time. Hopefully they'll keep this one for a long time. So if you did want to buy it again as yourself, you know, you got it as a gift, you could go into a Lush store and hopefully pick it up as well, or get it online. So yeah, going to give this round for the best gift one to Zesty by Lush. Workout done, and we finally have some new showers. And when I get out, I will do the final 2 points, final 2 rounds to work out what's going to be my holiday vacation fragrance for this year. What's very exciting, leaving the gym with new showers, but it's now time to go into round 9. So round 9 is which fragrance out of all of the ones, the 4 that we've got here, is going to be the best fragrance videos. Of course, while I'm away, I'll be doing some holiday vlogs, and I want to be doing some fragrance videos in the meantime as well. And I kind of thought, well, what do I normally do? I do weird layering videos. I'm going to be kind of doing a lot of exercise as well, you know, going in and out the sea, going for runs, all those sorts of things. I think probably the one that's going to be best for these videos is probably Brut. Now, first thing first, it's like £5-6, so I don't really care if I lose it, which is the first thing. How awful that sounds, I know. The other thing is I'm hoping, because it's quite empty, I can chuck it away while I'm there, so I won't have to carry it back with me in case I find any sprays and do buy any other things while I'm there. But I do think that one would be good with some weird layering videos, because it's, again, very soapy, and it's not too heavy, it's nothing, you know, too daring. And if we can find something to help sort of increase its longevity while we're there, that'd be good. We can do some tests to see if it lasts while, you know, going in the sea, all those things. It's not ever going to be too much at home again. I'm going to be showering a lot, having a lot of baths there. So I think that is one that's going to probably win the round here, just because it is so low risk. There's not really anything I can take with it. And because it is retro, it does have that element of uniqueness about it. You can tell it's an older school fragrance, it's not generic, and I think it is the one that sort of stands out in that sense for me, just with all those things considered. So I'm probably going to say at the moment the best fragrance to take purely to do videos and all the other things around it is Brut Original Cologne. And I'm trying to think of some ideas while I walk back, the videos I can do. But yeah, comment below something you might like me to do while I'm away on holiday, something a bit different to what I do at home as well. And yeah, I can always put that into practice. Now we've got one more round I need to do, and I think there's a very important question here. Which one would win a spray off? So the last round we'll do, when we get back, we'll do a spray off, and we'll see which one is the strongest overall. Okay, so we are back. It's time to do a spray off then, to decide the overall winner. So let's do them 2 at a time, and then all I'm going to do is just kind of walk out the room very quickly, walk back in, rather than push it into my face, to see which fragrance is the strongest. So I'm going to put the sort of 2 real freshies up here. So Jakarta, the Grey Vetiver Cologne, and Zesty. I'd probably say these are the 2 strongest as well. So I'm going to do 2 sprays of this one, 4 sprays of this, just because the atomizer is massive on the Lush one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to do the Brut, and I'm going to do Bogos Vibrant Leather. We'll do 4 of these because they're the same. Right, I'm going to walk out the room, so you will not see me for a second. I'm coming in to see which one gives the strongest smell. I don't know. I think it is. I should have just let it sit a little bit longer. It's zesty. It's that lime that's really kicking through. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I went into this, I thought Jakarta would be the strongest, but I think it's purely because the atomizer is so strong on this one that it's the strongest. And ultimately, that means it's won 4 rounds today, which is the most. This has won 4 rounds. This has won, I believe, 2 rounds, Jakarta. So that's won 6, well, 6 of the 9 rounds, sorry. That's won 3 rounds, Brute. Unfortunately, Bogos Fire and Never's Day only won 1 round, and I'm a bit disappointed because actually I kind of half wanted that to be the winning fragrance today to prove me wrong. But overall, 4 rounds, Zesty has won today. So this is the fragrance that I'm planning to take on vacation with me. But I do want you to let me know, do you want me to take this one as well? Because I kind of want to leave the question to you as well. I was hoping in some ways Jakarta was going to win because that would have been 3-3-3. And then you could have all picked which one of those 3 fragrances that all got 3 rounds to win. But this one is brilliant, and I'd be more than happy to take this one. If anyone doesn't want me to take it, though, please let me know in the comments, because I want to do some fragrance videos while we're there. But today's winner is undoubtedly Zesty. Brilliant fragrance. Really enjoyed wearing it actually today. One thing's for sure, it is going to be my scent of the day, because it is a gorgeous April afternoon. And this is a brilliant scent. This is a fragrance. If you've not tried this one, please try it, because it is one of Lush's best fragrances. It doesn't really wow anyone. It's not got anything too complex in it, but that is why I think it's an absolute standout. But I hope you've enjoyed this one today. There will be a part 2 soon where I'm going to do some higher end fragrances for those more dress up occasions while I'm out on vacation. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.